Hello everyone, CrystalFissure here. Welcome to a new Spyro Reignited Trilogy video. On the day that I hit 25,000 subscribers, we get a look at Colossus. Now, I'm going to show off the footage in its entirety without commentary, so skip like 5 minutes in if you want to hear me talk about it, but we're going to head straight into it, watch the cutscene, watch the playthrough of the level with the audio, and then I'll talk about it after.
A Yeti has been rampaging around our home, but we've managed to trap him by shutting all the doors. If you talk to the other brothers, they will open the gates and guide you to him. Concentrating, I should be able to open this door for you.
Who needs a key when you know how to chant like this?
Enemies like those yaks are too big to be charged. Your flame attack should easily take care of large enemies. Defeat an enemy, it will release a spirit particle. The spirit particles will activate the power-up in that world. If a power-up isn't active, you need to defeat more enemies.
Look what I can do.
Remember Hunter's advice. You will glide farthest if you press the jump button again at the very top of your jump.
Even though I'm a vegetarian, I think you should torch that Yeti. He's pretty tough, though. In fact, I'm not sure you're up to it. I thought the Yeti was tougher than that. I guess he was all bark. Ruff, ruff. Anyway, I was just guarding our sacred talisman to make sure the Yeti didn't eat it.
Alright guys, now that was a lot to unpack, but in a good way. We got an absolute ton of information here. We have the cutscene. This is our first look at an opening cutscene from Spyro 2, which appears to be, relatively faithful to the original level. You'll notice they'll be using sort of things like depth of field and stuff like that in the way that, the focus is drawn in and stuff like that to make it more cinematic. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Skylanders, the Yeti, but honestly, I think they've done a pretty decent job with it. This is the opening of the level. We see Brother Harry. We see the voice acting is pretty good, actually. I like it. Nothing glaringly bad by any stretch of the imagination. And my first look at Colossus in general is, yeah, I do actually like it. I like all of the sort of mountains in the background, like, far in the background. Obviously, that's one thing that was always missing in the newer game, in the older games, of course, because of, draw distance and memory and stuff like that. So getting to see everything in the distance really gives this level more of a lived-in feel. There are elements that I think the original did better, which I would compare to in my... And don't worry, I will be talking about the voice and stuff like that. I think there are elements that the original does better, but I think that they always will, sort of thing. And I don't really mean that as an insult to the current game, to Reignited Trilogy, but there's elements that I think that almost lend themselves to a more lower quality version, believe it or not. But honestly, some of the stuff they've done here is excellent. I'm going to go back and talk about that. For example, what you just saw there, Colossus very much into sports, more than usual, if you know what I mean. So let's listen to Brother Clive. So instead of the, basically they go like, oh, or whatever, they used to go, Y-I-I-O, Y-I-I-O, whatever, which is this kind of weird sound. I think that if I honestly had like one request, it would be actually to bring that back. I know that sounds really petty, but to me it's like such an iconic part of the level, and I think that they know that, or would know that, because the music, which by the way I think is very, very good, actually probably my favorite track I've heard so far in Reignited. The music actually sounds, they use a sample, the oh, whoa, 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 whatever it is, like that. That probably sounded horrendous, but that's what it basically sounds like. That's like an actual sample that I believe is slowed down. I was reading that in the Spyro Reddit. I put the link up to what actual sample it is. But yes, that's interesting. Then we head inside. Don't worry, guys. I will be going over this footage again, possibly slower or something like that to focus in and stuff. One thing that they really like to do is they love to have these like photos that kind of set dress. I feel like part of me thinks that they're worried that things look too bare. Like in like sort of a modern game, they'd be like, oh, look, there's nothing in here. But honestly, I think that the photos? I think that the photos are good. First look at the life jar there. I think the photos are actually good, and I think that they emphasize, I guess they kind of emphasize like interconnectivity between levels, because I swear I saw something that looked like high caves in the background there before. So yeah, I mean, I like that. I mean, they've been talking about, and I won't do a video specifically on this, but there's been this stuff that came out from Game, which is a game provider, believe it or not. And Game had said something about like new dragons, new eggs, and new stuff like that, and easily be able to switch between the three games. And it makes you really think like, yeah, is the loading between the three games going to be like almost seamless, And as I think Vivi pointed out, VTM Vivi, like what's behind that door? Maybe that's your portal to Spyro 2, like sort of a quick entry or something. I don't know. I don't know. We'll talk about that maybe a bit later when more stuff comes up. But yeah. So then we've got this main area out here. I'm a big fan of any ice level, so like I'll always be a bit biased, and even if I'll always like ice levels inherently. A lot of grass. An emphasis on grass. That's just one thing you just see a lot. And you also notice there, just briefly, they actually say torch that Yeti and not kill that Yeti. Now, when you were reading it out aloud, like the actual text boxes, it was torch. that Yeti in I think the NTSC version or whatever, one of the versions, and then it actually said kill that Yeti. Anyway, so look over there. Look, see how that looks like High Caves? Now, here's the talisman animation. Really, actually nice. That's a lot better. And this was freaking awesome. How cool is how like how the portal gets like brought up? That is fantastic, man. And now we're watching it again, but I'm going to slow a few things down that I didn't talk about. Yeah, so the cutscene, again, as I've said, emphasized happy with that. There seems to be like this building structure in the background of Colossus, as if they haven't like finished making something or something like that. Like it almost looks like it's sort of in construction. There's a more emphasis on wood textures in this level than the original, which is, I guess it's a design choice. I think I prefer the kind of clay kind of, you know, because that feels more monk-like to me, but I guess this almost could feel like it's like do-it-yourself type thing as well, where it's like, you know, the monks are like, you know, have built this, you know, themselves type thing. So yeah, I do like the really, look at his eye, like look at the way those eyes are on that temple thing. That is like super weird, but kind of cool at the same time, which is, you know, most things in life, isn't it? But yeah, so having a look here at the goats, I think they've done a good job with the goats. You know, they're not called the greatest of all times for a reason. I'm actually growing on the chests, which at first, like when I saw them in Idle Springs, I was like, these are weird. I don't know, they're a bit weird, but I actually don't mind them. I like the brother character models and stuff like that, because they are meant to be, we gotta remember, they're meant to be very similar to, if the same, you know, they're the same sort of creature as because it was originally Colossus Steps or Colossus Valley and Colossus, what was it, Springs, Colossus Springs. They were the original level names. Oh, look at that. Now, look at all the hockey pucks, or hockey sticks at the top there. Can you see that? Like in the sort of like in the corner, and yeah, because the golden statues are now holding hockey. So this has become very much a hockey city. I'm a big fan of that. I love the logo. I'm going to show that off a little bit more in a bit, but that looks really cool. I like that. That's something to me, that's a design change that I'm all for. You know, like when people make criticisms, some people are of the opinion do not change anything at all. I've never been like that. There's some stuff I think that they've changed that I haven't liked as much, but honestly, the hockey stick sort of idea, I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea. It's something new. Now, Zoe, our good pal Zoe, I was recently reamed on Tumblr for apparently being a horny fanboy for thinking that Zoe should have a shorter dress. It does not come from any kind of sexual attraction. It was more of an aesthetic thing, but I'll let these people believe what they want to believe. Zoe does look actually a lot better in this, I find, in this shot. And I think, again, it comes down to the lighting. I think that, you know, being in a more light area, that's the fodder there, by the way, I wanted to show that off. Poor fodder. You know, I thought that was honestly like a pretty, you know, a lot better, believe it or not. Spirit particle board there. Particle board, that's a type of construction tool. Anyway, but yeah, I think that honestly Zoe looks better here. And yeah, just remember, guys, you know, if you ever have a criticism, it usually means that you have a nefarious reason behind it, right? And you can never actually criticize female characters without being considered a sexist. So be careful, or horny for a sexual awakening, like apparently I was. And I'm bitter about that, because I mean, how dare they sort of assume something about my life in such a way? Anyway, on a positive note, here we go in, and we're going to see some Wallace and Gromit references here. Well, not really, but if you look, well, I'll show you, it's about to zoom in. Here we go. There we go. That to me looked like something out of Wallace and Gromit. Does it not to you guys? I don't know. I can just get this Wallace and Gromit vibe from it. Totally changed the more warm lighting in here, which, I mean, the original area I think is, I mean, yeah, I think that they were, again, just worried about it. They didn't want to make it look too bare, but I think that's part of the charm of the original. So I'm not against this, but I always have a soft spot for the original section, of course, like I think, you know, most of us do. Yeah, so it's almost like a log house type thing. Reminds me of something out of Ape Escape 3, a little bit. Anything to show an Ape Escape reference in. And then up here we have another banner for the Colossus, I don't know what they are, the Colossus monks or something like that we'll call them. The Colossus monks, there they are. How cool is that? It kind of reminds me of like something from Chicago or something. I don't know. I like it. And then like there's a rug there too. Look. A Colossus monk's rug as well, in case you want memorabilia. Maybe we should get that printed on some t-shirts. That would be an exceptional idea. Okay. And that just about wraps it up. Again, another we haven't seen the power up in play. We haven't seen the as my friend Harry Heath was very disappointed to not see the hockey, but I'm sure we will see the hockey before release. Hopefully they get that right. It's always a bit of a challenge in the original game. Hopefully it's just as annoying as it used to be, in a way. Thank you by the Ned, even though you're a vegetarian. Well, you're a hypocrite, Ned, mate. Okay, because this guy is meat. And goodbye. It drops pretty quick, and then the windows break as well. So yeah, and we're gonna wrap this up with the final little bit of this thing, the talisman and the portal animation, which are exceptional. Honestly, exceptional. I am extremely excited about this. I like it. I mean, like it's simple, but it gives me hope for the orb as well. I think the orb, it's gonna be fine, guys. It's gonna be fine. And then this, look at the way that the construction, isn't that just brilliant? I love it. Return home. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much for 25,000 subscribers. That means the absolute world. It's just, I'm so grateful for you guys. You guys are the absolute best. And here's to 25,000 more in the next 7 years. We'll see if we can make it quicker than the first 25. But thank you guys again, and I'll be back. Make sure if you haven't subbed, well, what the hell are you doing? Get around to it, boys and girls. Goodbye.